Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, October 18th, day 602 of Russia's special military operation, 3-day special military operation. It is 599 days overdue. I wanted to start off, as I always do, with the Russian losses over the last 24 hours, and then another massive, potentially massive military strike by Ukraine against Russian forces overnight. And then we'll just go into a couple of other tidbits and news items to get you started on the day. If you wouldn't mind in the comments letting me know what the video quality is like. I had a follower tell me that the video quality was quite low. They liked the video, but the video quality was low. And apparently my OBS settings had gone back to sort of factory. So I've ramped them back up. It should be in 1080p where available. So if you wouldn't mind letting me know, thumbs up or comment, whatever, that if the video quality looks good. So to start off with the Russian losses over the last 24 hours, it's starting to feel like the Avdiivka offense from the Ukrainians has culminated, or from the Russians has culminated. They've lost a massive amount, like over 4,000 troops. They've lost hundreds of pieces of equipment between tanks and APVs, etc. And they've gained a couple hundred square meters, it seems to be at the most. So I kind of judge how offenses or defenses are going based on the either specific troop or specific equipment losses. And I've always kind of told myself that the Avdiivka offense by the Russians would sort of culminate and fizzle out when we started to see the troop losses come down and the equipment losses come down. And that seems to be the case over the last 24 hours. Well, still extraordinary. They've only lost 620 men, 2 tanks, which is the lowest in over 2 weeks, I think, 15 APVs, 8 artillery pieces, which is also extremely low. Tells me they're not firing a lot, which means they're not getting hit a lot by counter battery artillery fire. 1 aircraft, I believe that was an Su-25, and I really didn't look too hard, but I couldn't find the location of that strike, but I did see a couple mentions of a confirmation of a Russian aircraft being taken out, and 6 helicopters for sure confirmed. Still could be more, but 6 for sure are completely destroyed. We know where. That was in the Berdyansk airfield. 10 UAVs and 1 cruise missile. And as it says here, if you wouldn't mind, please liking and subscribing. I have ATACMS too, I'm just saying. But anyways, would love to have your like and subscribe to beat those algorithms. So reports of another hit. Sorry, I meant to have this a little scrolled up a little higher. Reports of another hit last night. This is in the Kursk area. The SBU report and that's in Russia. Report last night that Ukraine hit a Russian airfield camp in Postoyale, Dvory. Wow. Near Kursk Airport. It's reported that up to 3,000 Russian soldiers and about 80 units of military equipment were stationed there. The damage is being clarified. I'm not 100% sure if this is a new recruit training base, if this is a sort of like a standard base that exists all the time and they rotate troops in and out. Not really sure, but here is first of all the only video that exists right now of the strike. If this is legit and it's not Arma 3. It looks legit to me, but if this is legit, there's clearly anti-aircraft fire going everywhere and multiple strikes just over the horizon, so you can't quite see what's being hit, but I've counted 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 9 strikes. So what's located at that base? Well, we happen to have a picture of what's located at that base. And here are the heated year-round, basically barracks, right? There's command areas, mess hall, whatever. You know, it's very hard to tell what all these buildings are, but you can tell that these are permanent structures. And I believe there are some tents that go along here as well that aren't currently in this particular picture. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, so where is that located? That is located right here. This is Ukraine. This is Russia. This is the Kursk Oblast. Now, I couldn't find the exact camp. But the Kursk airport is just around here, and the camp is supposedly just around the airport. So it's very difficult, and I didn't find any geolocating. But I wanted you to have a good idea. Was this ATACMS? Probably not. Now the U.S. has said that Ukraine can use weapons as they see fit, and yes, this is just after the Ukrainians used ATACMS to hit Berdyansk. Do I think on night 2 that the Ukrainians would have taken the ATACMS and fired them into Russia proper? I don't. Ukrainians do have drones and other weapons capabilities to be able to hit bases and things like that inside Russia, as they've shown. They've hit all over Russia with partisans with their own Ukrainian launched kit, if you want to call it that. So there you go. So something to watch. I'm not sure exactly what was hit. Those explosions could be basically targeted at those they could be anti-personnel, right? They could be going after equipment. They could be going after these barracks and taking out multiple troops. We will wait and see, but keep an eye on that one. Why am I showing you another video of ATACMS? Because we waited so long, and it's just a beautiful sight to see these going off in the air. These are from the previous night. Now, when you see these fire off, if you can tell, if 2 of them come from the same launcher, then you know it's a Mars tracked launcher. If you only see one, typically, well, maybe it's only firing one, but the standard HIMARS that we're all, the M270, we're all aware of, can only carry one HIMARS at a time in the pod. Here's a little bit of a summary from the potential losses. This is translated from a source from last night's strike in Berdyansk. 7 helicopters were lost at the airfield in Berdyansk, more than 20 KIA. 3 sources in the aerospace forces and the general staff informed us of the final data on the consequences of an enemy missile attack on the airfield in Berdyansk. 7 helicopters, Ka-52 and Mi-8, were completely destroyed or seriously damaged. There is hope to repair 2 damaged vehicles. Satellite photos appeared on the internet showing 5 damaged helicopters. According to one of our interlocutors, at the time the photos were taken, the debris that remained from the 2 more helicopters had already been removed. Unfortunately, 23 people KIA, now it says 23 down here. These were mainly military guards, airfield employees, and 4 pilots were also KIA. So there you go. United 24 is basically reporting that from New York Times, it's reporting that the United States reportedly transferred approximately 20 ATACMS to Ukraine. Is that all that they're going to get? Most likely not. Is that accurate? Who knows? It could very well be. New York Times has done some good reporting, and they've got some good data. If you remember, with HIMARS and with many other weapon systems, M777s, etc., the Ukrainians were given small doses, small batches, like they were given 2 and then I think 4 HIMARS total. They were given two M777s, test them out, see how they use them, make sure they don't abuse them, that sort of thing, make sure they're effective, and then they were given more. So I could see this being a first batch of ATACMS if it's accurate, and then moving up from there. Why is it important? So the ATACMS basically took out the Ukrainian or the Russian air base with Ka-52 helicopters. Ka-52 helicopters have a range of just over 500 kilometers. The ATACMS has a range, the older, shorter range version that they received has a range of 165 kilometers. So basically, if you double what the range is, that's the range that the helicopters can safely fly and stay at a distance of those ATACMS. So 370 kilometers is basically the range that the Ukrainians have basically pushed the helicopters back. So that means they have to fly 165 kilometers there, 165 back, and they only have a loitering time for a short period of time. That is why ATACMS is important. It's pushing these Ukrainian air bases, these Russian air bases back in out of Ukrainian territory and into Russia proper or deep into southern Crimea. Vladimir Putin says that these supplies, the supplies of ATACMS don't bring anything good for Ukraine. This will not change the situation at the front, and in general we can repel ATACMS missiles, which means he's terrified. At night, the Russians hit a residential building in Zaporizhia with a missile. 2 people were killed and several were wounded. I'm not going to show the whole video, but this is basically what the Russians do to respond to Ukrainian military success. And God love the first responders, because they know there's a really good chance that the Russians are going to double tap the target once they go in to try to save people. And last, I wanted to show you, congratulations to the NAFO Sniffing Brigade. That's the NAFO 69th Sniffing Brigade. They are very close to 300 vehicles. They have delivered 255 vehicles so far into Ukrainian frontline positions. These vehicles save lives, both civilians, military, etc. If you see somebody like Artillery, Ukraine Matters, Mercado Media, etc., that are raising money for the 69th Sniffing Brigade, try to give them a little bit of cash and help speed up the process. Let's get to 300 vehicles. That is it for me today so far. Have a great day. Tell someone you love them. Slava Ukraini.